Hey, what's up guys? It's Apollo Uchiha here, back with a new movie. The name of this movie is What If Naruto Road to El Dorado Chapter 1, the movie. It is going to be into two parts or two chapters. This is the chapter 1 of this movie. It is an unscripted movie as well, and its inspiration is from a South Indian movie named KGF. If you haven't checked that out, please check that out as well. And I hope you like this story as well. Yeah, if you haven't, then please do leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And I really hope you enjoy this story because it is kind of a modern-ish story. So yeah, it's kind of my first try to mix Naruto with, movies. I hope this works out. Fingers crossed, and you enjoy. And enough of my yapping and just enjoy the story. Yeah, story begins with Tsunade Senju, a modern news reporter on Tokyo Live, as she was in an argument with her boss, Hiruzen Sarutobi. What? Are you out of your mind, Hiruzen? This story isn't going to fly. I mean, this is a book that even the government of Japan banned. That is what I'm saying, Tsunade. This is a book that even the government didn't want to be published. But it might be a fiction written by some mad writer or something. It might be not. Maybe the book is trying to say some truths. That is why the government burned down the project. The project of KGF, Konoha's Goldfields. It was a book written by Shikamaru Nara, who says that he has gone to the said place. But there is no place as such now, is it? In the now future, no. But in the past, it was. Why do you believe this writer so much? Tell me one thing, Sensei, and I'll do this interview. I knew him. Each story he wrote, even in his younger days, it was an almost hit. And it was based on truth. And this story, that even the government tried to press down, keep it out of the reach of the public, wanted nobody to find out about. It speaks volumes. Fine, Sensei, I will do this. As after that, the writer Shikamaru Nara was called the next day in the said studio, Tokyo News Channel studio, where in an empty space, an interview table was set. On one end, Tsunade Senju, a 25-year-old reporter, was sitting. As in a near distance, an old man, Hiruzen Sarutobi, was standing with a staff in his hand. As an old man walked in. His name was Shikamaru Nara, the writer of the book. As he sat down opposite to her, as the camera started to roll. Mr. Shikamaru Nara, the book you wrote down, it is quite outrageous. It might point some finger at our government officials. What do you say about that? It is the truth. That is all I have to say. Would you enlighten us to what gave you the inspiration to write down the story of the KGF? For that you have to listen to a long story I got all day, Mr. Shikamaru Nara. Please begin with your story. Begin with the tale of El Dorado. As Shikamaru Nara smirked. He began, in the near end of 1950s, the day two things were discovered. In Konoha goldfields were discovered, which was ruled by a tyrant known as Fugaku Uchiha. He even killed out the one who leaked the information after finding out the gold and the government officials that came there. He didn't want anyone to find out about this. He found a gold mine there. And on the other side, in a backwards village, its protector was born as well. His name is Naruto Uzumaki. As we see, it was raining heavily that night when Fugaku executed his plan, and in the backwards area, the cries of a child was heard. As the helper, the nurse said, "Congratulations, ma'am, it is a boy." As we see Kushina Uzumaki, the mother of the said child, smiling down. "My prince, my Naruto, welcome to the world." As the thunderstorm roared loudly. As after that day, the mother and child duo spent times together in the said village until that fateful day came when Naruto reached the age of 13. He arrived with some of the friends that he made on the road It was a stormy night as we see Naruto and his friends running towards a hospital. As Naruto arrives, as he had a lot of pennies in his hand. Doctor, it is all I could gather. Please help my mother. As the nurse said, listen, kid, we apologize, but it is not enough to help your mother. We do not have the medicine. We need to buy it from the money that we get from the patient's relatives. Isn't your father here or any other relative? No. As Kushina coughed, it's alright, Naruto. We can leave now, doctor. As at that night, we see Naruto and Kushina staying under a shed that was leaking. It was their home. They were really poor, and the village they came from looked down upon Kushina because she was a young widow with a son. That is why they came outside of the village and near a city named Okinawa in Japan. As it was the last night, Kushina breathed her last breaths, but before she go, she made Naruto promise her one thing. I do not know how you will live in this world, Naruto, or what kind of life you will encounter near future, but promise me one thing. What is it, Mom? Please tell me, I'll get you anything you want. Promise me when you die, you'll die as the strongest man in this world. I promise, Mom. You will live like a king and die like a hero. I promise. I promise that I will live as you wish. And with those words, Kushina's soul left her body. Next day, Naruto and his friends buried her, and Naruto was sitting near her grave for almost one day, until he got determination. He ventured outside. He was free now. He didn't have any responsibility, but he had one promise to keep. So he arrived near a city that was connected to his village, Okinawa. As he went there, he was almost instantly taken in, as many other orphaned kids were. Naruto was one of them who was forced to work in child labor and almost got 500 yen out of it for the day. As this was going on, the don he was working under, his name was Orochimaru, but he didn't personally give them the assignments of child labor. He had a compliance named Kabuto who gave them their work. As Kabuto was enraged one day when Naruto came to get his pay for the day. Damn it, that bastard policeman. We gave him the money he wanted, but he's still on to us. What should we do, Master Kabuto? Should we discuss this with Master Orochimaru? No. What will he do? We'll pay him more, and then that bastard will come back. Then we should just kill him. Who will kill him? You? Me? Or these bastards over here? Kabuto said, pointing towards the kids in front of him. Hey, does one of you want to go and kill that bastard of a policeman? As no one raised their hand, as Kabuto began to laugh, as one hand rose, as every child and the laughing Kabuto stopped and looked towards the kid. It was Naruto. I'll do it, sir. As we go to the next day, as we see the corrupted policeman coming out of a brothel. See you later, hun, he said, still drunk. And he was about to leave when Naruto arrived, grabbing a glass bottle and smashing it on his bald head. As the man was in pain on the ground, Naruto bolted away. As many policemen came, Sir, what happened? Catch that bastard! I want to rip his throat by my own hands. As Naruto and his other friends were running, Naruto stopped. Why are you stopping? Are you an idiot? The boss was just joking, and you had to go and do that. Come on, let's go. Why are you stopping there? He doesn't know my name. What? He doesn't know my name. I have to go and tell him who I am. As Naruto dashed back towards the said man who was now wincing in the pain in the same alley of the brothel, Naruto smashed the bottle on his head. As the man who was wincing saw a kid visage in front of him with a glass bottle in his hand. Who are you, kid? Name's QB. As Naruto smashed the bottle straight through his eyes, rendering his one eye not workable anymore. As the man winced, as the policeman came from behind at the time and grabbed him. as Naruto was being beaten by the police and his corrupted goons, as Orochimaru came there himself and freed the person, alongside Jiraiya, his right-hand man, as Jiraiya was the one who freed and got Naruto bailed out as he was dragged there by Orochimaru's men, as Kabuto was also on the other side. You damn idiot, I was joking. Who told you to go there and smash that bottle on his head? As Naruto chuckled. I did this because I knew. In this world, if you beat a common person, police will look for you. And if you beat the policeman, dons like you will look for me. As Jiraiya then said, Oi, kid, what do you want? Naruto looked up, his eyes covered in blood still, and his whole body limp, covered in bruises, as he chuckled as well, even in his pain. The whole world in my palms. And that was the day Orochimaru took in trust in Naruto. And Jiraiya as well, who trained him in martial arts, made his body that peaked human physical strength. And got him addicted to, let's just say, beer and cigars as well. Time skip. Naruto reached at the age of 18, as we see in Okinawa's coast, as ships filled with golds came from Hyuga Hiyashi, who was from Kyoto. His shipment was coming in, as the other dons, or local gangs and triads, were gaining control over Orochimaru's territory. Damn it, every one of our men are dying, Jiraiya. Where is Kyubi? He will take care of him if he isn't captured, as we go and see the corrupted policemen capturing Orochimaru's men and putting them in. Where is Kyubi? Tell us, we do not know. As then, suddenly, a news came, and that reached Orochimaru's ears. Kyubi has been captured, as the shipment and the whole Okinawa knew that he was captured at the time, as the gangs that started the rebellion cheered, and so did Hyuga Hiyashi's men who were bringing in the shipment. As we go and see Kiba, who was the man who was working for Hyuga Hiyashi, who chuckled as he arrived in a empty doghouse, as he entered with a lot of goons to see a man chained there, hanging with metal cuffs, who was dripping with blood, as everyone chuckled. Hey you, go tell my dad that I hanged the tornado that he was so worried about. As the man left chuckling and arrived in front of his father. Your son has hanged the tornado that you're worried about. Who? Kyubi. As the man who was about to sip his tea from the cup smashed that cup to the table. Where is my son? Said the man. It was Kiba's father. As the man said, who was Kiba's servant, he's standing in front of him. Oh my god, get my son away from him. Why? Because you don't hang tornadoes, you run away from them. As we go back to the doghouse, as one huge man came there with a butcher knife in his hand. Hey, today's my birthday, I want his heart. Go and get me that, Kiba said. As everyone chuckled at that, as the man started to move towards Naruto, who was hanging. As Naruto started singing, Happy birthday to you, as the laughter died down. It was pin-drop silence, as everyone was scared. As the man dashed towards Naruto with a butcher knife, with a loud yell, as Naruto kicked him in the chin with a hidden blade on his sole at the top of his sole boot that went straight through his neck, killing him. As Naruto jumped down, freeing himself, but his hands were still chained, as many men who started to rush towards after the death stopped, started to back away. And then the sounds of beatings, a lot of beating came as Naruto walked out, covered in whole blood. As Kiba was running in front of him, Naruto was walking behind him. Where are you running, birthday boy? Don't you want my heart? Here, I'm here to give it to you. Get away from me, please! As Kiba started to dash away, Naruto was running after him now. They arrived at the coast in which Hyuga Hiyashi's shipment was coming. As Naruto sat down near the hidden Kiba, as he dug a machete knife on the other side. As Naruto then said, "Whew, man, you made me work out and sweat a lot today. So, where's the shipment that is arriving?" As after that, we go towards the shipment people that were arriving at the dock to see that they were turning their boats at the site that was waiting for them. As you see Naruto sharpening his machete, as Kiba dead body was hanging at the coast near the water. As we go and see Naruto arriving in front of Orochimaru now. Orochimaru praised him. No, the people around him praised him. They saw him as a hero, as a messiah. Even Jiraiya agreed to that. During the course of years, Jiraiya trained the boy. He and Naruto grew close. As sort of a mentor and student, they also gained a father figure and a son figure relationship as well. And one of Orochimaru's goons, Kabuto, didn't like that. "Sir, the people of Okinawa are saying that Naruto is more respectable than you." "What?" "It is time to waste the useful tool that was one useful to us." As it was raining that day, as Naruto was standing there, as Orochimaru himself alongside with Kabuto and his goons came. "You see, people don't even need my address to know where I live. I have a brand in my own. Postcard doesn't need an address when it needs to reach me. On the other hand, you're just nothing but a turd that I got from the gutter to work for me, a tool that is ready to be wasted." As Orochimaru was going to kill Naruto with his gun, at that point, as Jiraiya's breath hitched, a person came. It was a 1960s model Rolls Royce. As the person car was coming towards Orochimaru and Naruto, Orochimaru gasped as he dragged the umbrella that was over his head, grabbed by a goon. He grabbed it from his hand and dashed towards the car. As the car stopped, as Orochimaru opened the door respectfully with his hand forward, holding the umbrella, it was none other than Hanzo the Salamander, who stood outside of the car's back seat. As he started to walk with none other than Orochimaru, as Hanzo said to Orochimaru, "I need QB." Orochimaru's eyes widened as Naruto nodded towards Hanzo, as Hanzo smirked and moved towards Naruto. "I need you to kill a man in Tokyo. Would you take the job?" As Naruto nodded, said nothing else. "And what will I get if I did that?" "Okinawa, it's yours." As Orochimaru's eyes widened, as Hanzo, after saying these words and Naruto agreeing, left. As Naruto said to Orochimaru then, "For a postcard to come to your address without the address written on it. No, nobody recognizes you here anymore, Orochimaru. The people recognize this place because of its landmark, and Okinawa's landmark is QB, me." As Orochimaru's eyes widened after hearing this, as Naruto and Jiraiya left, leaving Orochimaru to his own devices, infuriating and seething inside. As we go and see Naruto standing near the beach that was on Okinawa, as Jiraiya and his people were standing behind him. "Naruto will help you, but are you sure you want to do this?" "Yes, Jiraiya-sensei, I have to." "Sensei, tell me one thing," Naruto said almost instantly. "How deep is the ocean?" "What? Nobody knows that." "Exactly. To measure the ocean, one must dive inside of it to find how deep it is. And I want to find out how deep is this ocean." As time skip, we go towards the Tokyo city. Almost 2 days later, it was nighttime. Naruto arrived there via airplane and was now taking a taxi towards his location where he was about to meet his boss, Hanzo the Salamander. As many traffic jams were occurring there, as people started running backwards, leaving their cars there. As Naruto stopped one of them by grabbing him by the collar. "Oi, what's going on out there?" The daughter of Inoichi Yamanaka, a triad from here, is making a mess out there, and her goons are killing whoever is trying to tease her or get in her way of having entertainment. Really now. As Naruto got off of the taxi and paid him the wage that he deserved, as the taxi driver said, "Sir, please don't go there. They're dangerous people." As Naruto looked towards him, put a finger to his lips and said, "Shh, it's alright. They won't scare me." As Naruto reached in front of the goons, who stopped him by putting a hand on his chest. As Naruto looked at him, "What? Didn't you heard? You piece of shit. Get out of here before you get killed." As next thing he knew, his throat was rolling on the ground. "Never mess with me." As the other goons were scared and backed away, as we go see, the jeeps were around a group of girls. As one girl caught Naruto's eyes, he froze as the machete dropped, and the girl stopped after the sound of machete dropping. As Naruto's eyes were widened, as it laid on none other than Ino Yamanaka, her green eyes, blonde hair, and white skin. As Ino laid her eyes on Naruto, for a moment her heart skipped a beat before she regained her composure. "Who the hell are you?" "Congratulations," Naruto said. "What?" "I love you," Naruto said instantly, as the girl's eyes widened, but her heart skipped a beat. "What? Are you out of your mind? Where are you guys?" she said with a blush. "Kill him!" As many of the goons gathered and started to fight Naruto, Naruto beat the shit out of each and every one of them by saying this: "Hey, didn't nobody teach you the manners? When your brother-in-law and his wife is talking, you shouldn't be interfering, right?" As many of the goons got enraged and Naruto beat the shit out of them, as he was holding in one hand his beer, but one of the goons shot a bullet at it. Naruto was enraged. It was his last beer can, and he knew for sure he won't get it back until he got back at Okinawa. "You." As Naruto grabbed a chain from the bike that has fallen down, wrapped around his fist, and beat the living shit out of the man by punching his punch on his face again and again until it deformed into a bloody smear. As Naruto then saw another brand of beers there that Ino and her friends were drinking, as he grabbed the whole crate. "See you later, dear. Might catch you later on." As Ino's heart skipped a beat at the sight. Who is this man?" As Naruto left. As he left, many of the cars arrived. It was none other than her fiancé, Sai. "Ino, what happened? I got a call that you were attacked." "No. He proposed to me. You said to my father that you will take care of me. Is this your way of taking care of me? When a nobody comes here and proposes to me and leaves after confessing his love." As Sai gritted his teeth. "I will get him, darling. You don't need to worry." As he got close to her, but Ino pushed her hands away. "I'm leaving. And you know I hate being touchy." As she left, Sai gritted his teeth. "Damn it. But that's what makes her more exotic, and I like wild and exotic girls," said Sai as he licked his lips. As we go towards Naruto, he arrived at the location where he was supposed to get. There he met Hanzo as well. "Where were you? What took you so long?" "Took a detour. There was quite traffic jammed." "I see. The man you're here to kill, we cannot tell you who he is. You will see him and know who he is." "That is quite interesting. So, where am I going to kill this mysterious man?" "Be serious," Hanzo said. "He's the most dangerous man you will ever face. His name is Fugaku Uchiha. He will be coming at the party of Danzo, as he's announced yet again as the Prime Minister of Japan." "Oh really? In the Prime Minister's house, right?" "Yes." "Okay. But the security is going to be tight, sir," said Hanzo's goon. "I know. And that is why it is difficult to kill him there. But it is the only place where we can kill him." Just bring me a gun in there, I'll shoot him." As Hanzo's eyes went, "Just like that? Just like that? I'll leave now." As Naruto was leaving, he encountered Sai and Inuichi Yamanaka as well. "Who's he?" Sai asked. "He's the person who is our sharpshooter, who's going to shoot Fugaku in Danzo's inauguration as the next Prime Minister of Japan. Really now? Is he able to do and keep up at the name? Yes, he is the QB. Sai's eyes widened. You mean the famous QB that took down Yuga Yashi's goons like they were nothing and swiped clean other clans and triads from his whole city? Yes. This will be interesting. After he's done working for us, I'll be the one who kill him, Sai said. Sai, you and your bloodlust, it's going to get you killed one day, Inoichi Yamanaka said, as Hanzo agreed to this. After that, we go towards Naruto, who was enjoying his bath when he heard a knock. As when he saw through a peephole who it was, he opened the door and suddenly dragged the said person inside and locked it. It was none other than Yamanaka, as he was shocked and she was shocked as well. Now how did it come to this? Well, we have to go 3 hours back, as Sai still couldn't let go that some nobody came and proposed to his girl, his woman, as Ino was still thinking about the said man. And whenever she remembered his face and his smile, and how he fought, she blushed, her heart skipped a beat, and Sai noticed this and couldn't feel but more enraged about this. As Inoichi got the wind of it, as he said, Sai, you promised me. I'm getting into this, father-in-law, you don't have to worry about it. I will kill him after I found out, but nobody knows who he is. All the men that were there to protect her, they're either dead or in coma. The only person who know is right in front of us, Sai said. Who? You mean you'll take my daughter there to identify him? It is the only way. Yes, she has the description of him. As after Ino gave the description of blonde guy with tan skin and blue eyes, they arrived each and every hotel room to find the said man with the same description. As they were searching, that is when the goons went ahead while Ino was about to move from the said door after not getting an answer, as Naruto grabbed her inside. End of the flashback. You came here to see me? Naruto said, still in his bathrobe, as Ino's goons were knocking heavily on the door. Oi, open up, you'll die, as Naruto then said, to still shock Ino. Wait a moment, dear, I'll be back. When the door closed, a lot of beating sounds were heard and a lot of screams. As when Ino opened the door, satisfied that Naruto might be beaten, her eyes widened. On the floor were laying all the goons. 30 to 35 men on the floor, wasted like trash. And when she arrived near the car, feeling scared and lonely, she saw in driver's clothes none other than Naruto. Where to, ma'am? As Ino sat down. Really? You didn't even spare the driver? Well, he did kinda get in my way of meeting you. And our little date. I am not dating you, Ino said, looking away, hiding her blush. Aw, you're really cute, Ino. Like that. Who gave you the right to say my name? Aw, don't be like that. As Naruto started to drive the said car, as they arrived in an intersection where Naruto's eyes laid on a woman who was holding a child, and some of her bread has fallen on to the road, and the said woman, while holding her child, was trying to grab the bread from the floor while nobody stopped for her. The bread was getting dirty and almost uneatable. Naruto saw this as his blood boiled, getting a flashback of his own mother doing the same because they were poor. He knew the value of food because he had to know how to survive without it, and how blessing it was to be fed one bread at one time a day. As he drove the car into the middle of the intersection, stopping onwards traffic from all four sides in front of the woman. As everyone started to yell, Oi, who the hell do you think you are? As Naruto silenced them by bringing his hand outside of the window that was open of the driver's side. As everyone sat down back in their car, there was pin drop silence. As we see Naruto dragging his hand back inside. Ino saw why everyone was quiet when Naruto did that. He had a gun in his hand that he put back into his gun holster near his hip as he got off of the vehicle and started to walk towards the woman. But before that, he stopped and picked up the bread and dusted the dirt out of it and got near his pocket and got some money out of it as well. If you are so searchful for this bread, I know how desperate you are. I can feel your desperation. Don't forget, Mother is the biggest warrior in this world. She can do anything for her children, even if it means her own death. Here, take it. This world is full of selfishness and greed. If you want something, you have to take it from them. Nobody's going to give it to you. If you spread your hands in front of them. As the woman nodded and took the bread, here, take this as well. Feed the little kid over there some good food and buy yourself some new set of clothes. As Ino's heart skipped a beat at this sight as well, and Naruto's kind word, as he then got back onto the driver's seat and reversed the car, releasing the traffic that was blocked. As Naruto then said, getting back into the good mood, looking towards Ino, "Say, where were we, dear?" "Oh yeah, we were discussing about marriage," but Naruto was stopped by Ino. "Please, just drive me home." As Ino, after giving Naruto's address, Naruto said, "Sure, hon, why not?" As Naruto drove her, as they were about to come to another intersection, Naruto saw some trucks. Naruto's eyes widened. What were they doing there? As Naruto stopped his car, they were being escorted by police jeeps. As he got suspicious, he needed to find out what this was. So, he popped the hood of the car. As he searched, Ino on the other hand was sitting in the car and looked from the back mirror that Sai and his goons were coming. As she got out of the car to warn Naruto. But when she arrived there, she saw nobody, and she sighed. She felt a little sad till he left, and angry at that. When Sai appeared, hugging Ino, as she flinched when Sai touched her. "Who is he? Where is he?" He left. "Damn it! I was late again. All of you are useful. Get Madam back to the residence of Yamanaka's. I'll meet her there. I'll meet you there, hon. I have to see who this was." As we see Naruto arriving in an compound in which the crates were unloaded, Naruto popped one crate after beating two persons unconscious that were guarding it. Naruto was surprised to find that the gold that he was receiving in Okinawa while working for Orochimaru, that Orochimaru said was going straight towards other countries outside of Japan. What was it doing here? Wasn't it supposed to be in England and America? Why was it in Tokyo? It was the same gold, Naruto knew for sure. He popped each crate open in Okinawa and hand-checked the gold himself. He knew exactly it was the same one. He was realizing that something big was going on here. The target that these people brought him to kill might be related to this all. He was connecting dots, but he knew for sure. As the scene cut towards the room that this story was being read by Shikamaru. "So, you mean to say that something big is going on here? And Naruto, your main character, is about to find out what it is about this KGF?" "Yes, about KGF. He's about to find out what it is and what it truly stands for. He never knew about this. As it is said in the story, to find out how deep the ocean is, one must dive in it. And Naruto has just took that dive." "Please continue," said Hiruzen. "Right on, Hiruzen." As we go back to Naruto, who was seen now in nighttime wearing his clothes and arriving in a club. As in there we see Ino chilling with Sai and his goons. As Naruto arrived there and danced with one of the dancers there, just to lighten up the mood and jealous Ino. As Ino had enough of it, she was enraged and pointed to Sai that it was him. Sai and his goons surrounded Naruto and emptied the whole club. "So you were the one who had the guts to propose to my Ino, my woman. Do you know what kind of crime did you commit it?" "See how you're man enough," said Sai. "Go ahead and touch her in front of me. If you do that, then I agree you're a man enough." as every guard of Sai put their rifles in front of Naruto, targeting him. As Sai then said, I'll give you a choice other than that. If you leave here declaring that you're not a man and you're still a kid, a wimpy kid that can hide under his mother's skirt. Naruto felt his blood raged when he said these words. You can leave. Naruto saw from one of the windows outside of the pub there was a truck filled with oil tank parked there. Naruto smirked. Okay. Naruto started to walk backwards as the man started to laugh. What? Didn't have guts enough, hero? Said one of the goons. Boy, why don't you go buy some lipstick from my uncle's shop nearby? Just say him my name, he'll give you for free. As Naruto heard these insults but left, Ino was quite saddened by this. She felt hurt. She didn't know why. Naruto was a nobody, while she was raised as a princess. And Sai was fitting her category of the man she wanted in her life. And they were even fiancés. But Ino didn't like his touch, and both Sai and Ino agreed that they wouldn't have any physical interaction, not even kiss, until they were married. But why? Out of nowhere, suddenly Naruto dropped in her life, and whenever he was around her, she couldn't control herself. She wanted to be with him. She knew deep down she loved him. She just realized that, but she was hurt and angry at Naruto's action. And suddenly, everyone was laughing there, and Ino was brought out of a stupidity with a huge boom, as Naruto reversed the truck back inside, as its hatch was open, as the oil started to leak everywhere. Sir, one of the goons said, dipping his finger into the water, as he said, Sir, this is gasoline, as Naruto walked out from the driving seat, a cigarette in his mouth, as he popped out a match and started lit one stick, as the guns dropped, as everyone raised their hands. Was he crazy? Was he going to burn each and every one of them? As Naruto lit his cigarette up, as the match, when he was about to drop it, when he stopped as a man put his hand in front of him so he could held the match in his hands and saved them from all getting burned to crisp by Naruto's foolishness, as Naruto burned his hand willingly as he stopped in front of Ino, as he raised his hands to touch her to prove that he was a man indeed, but stopped before it touched Ino's face as Ino's eyes widened. The man who puts his hand on a trigger is not a shooter, not every man. And not every man is a man who puts his hand on a girl. And for what my worth is, those who love me without those who don't know me can't understand it. Aside from those who love me, Naruto said, as there was a moment of silence before Naruto got giddy again. Oh yeah, there was a guy who said I was not man enough and I should wear lipstick and bangles and stuff like that. I love you, baby. Naruto said, giving him a flying kiss. Come in front of here and tell me how much of a man I am. As this was going on, the man said, sorry brother, it's just that my uncle's business was going down and I kind of wanted to help him. Sorry, please don't mind, sir. As this was going on, a voice said, enough. It was Uchiha Manaka. He arrived with his entourage there, as he then said, Ino, go. As Ino went, looking towards Naruto one more time, as she left, as Sai said, he arrived and saved you from me. You have nice luck. He didn't come here to save me from you. He arrived here to save you from me. Because you pissed me off, and that is what you don't want to. Sai, just go. We'll talk about this later. As Inoichi wasn't alone. He had Hanzo with him as well. I told you that your mission is here to kill a person. What were you doing here? Huh? Do you think this is some kind of a sick joke? Hanzo said. No. I came here to bring you all here. I know how to kill him. I have been investigating all the possible things that could happen with this encounter, with this assassination. I can assassinate him outside as well, but there are two roads that connect to the main hall in which Danzo will give his speech in the Prime Minister house. One is a busy street, while the other is an open road. He will arrive through the busy street. You can take a shot there then, said Inoichi. It's not that simple. What do you mean? Said both of them, getting interested. There are many houses that are rented recently. Many taxis that are driving there by the drivers who aren't even picking up passengers. There are many stalls there that opened recently. Many small businesses. And those aren't serving anyone. They're just sitting there with rotten things on their platters. All of them are his men. They're keeping a watch. He's coming in full loaded. As Inoichi's and Hanzo's eyes widen. What? This could be quite terrifying. I know I told you my first option. I will kill him inside the Prime Minister house, and that is the only way. Just get me a gun. Then it will be arranged, Inoichi said. Are you sure? Hanzo said. There is a way. And it can be arranged. Just come inside. 1 week later, the day Danzo was yet again announced as the Prime Minister of the whole Japan, in which he was going to take an oath. And for that, he had to lure Fugaku out as well to his party. So he built a statue of his as his partner, and in his honor of their friendship. And he called for him there so that he could come here and reveal the statue to everyone by doing the honors. And that worked, as every person arrived there, and the cars started to arrive as well, but with them brought storm, black clouds, darkness. There were a total 25 cars. One of them was only Rolls-Royce, while the other ones were just Cadillac Escalades and Range Rovers, all old models, filled with goons that had rifles and shotguns. As the Rolls-Royce door opened, while Naruto was given a gun assembled by Hanzo's goons. Naruto had assembled the whole gun and loaded one bullet, as it was behind his back, under his coat. He was wearing a pant coat that day, a tuxedo, as he was walking towards the stage where the statue was. But the person that arrived there wasn't the one he was supposed to kill. He could see by the looks of the face that Danzo was given, the look of shock, as it was none other than Itachi Uchiha who came there. As suddenly, the waiters that were there all pulled out guns in front of everyone, stopping them from moving. There were total 100 waiters there, and all of them had Glocks in their hands that were pulled out at all of the guests. Naruto froze. He didn't take actions. He was just glaring at the person in front of him, as Itachi grabbed the red cloth that was covering the statue, and he started to pull the whole cloth, revealing it was his own statue, getting gas from both Hanzo, Inoichi, and Danzo as well as Sai. They were afraid. As Itachi began, my father worked hard to build the empire and fed you all, he said, by announcing it to Inoichi, Hanzo, Sai, and Danzo, as they all gasped. But I promise this to you all. I will work hard even to build it and take it to the next level. As with that words, Itachi left. Naruto could have shot him then and there, but he didn't. As we go back towards the newsroom where Shikamaru's interview was taken by Tsunade. What? Why didn't he take a shot then and there? He had an opening. You really don't get it, do you, Tsunade? He saw a person. There's a saying in the mafia world, powerful people come from powerful places. He saw that powerful person. It was Itachi. He came from a powerful place. His display was one thing. It impressed Naruto. And he knew then and there something big was going on. And it was all connected to this Uchiha that was in front of him. He wanted to find out. Please continue the story then, said Tsunade as Hiruzen nodded as Shikamaru began. As we go towards Naruto and Hanzo, Danzo, Sai, and Inoichi, who were sitting in a room as it was stormy night that night. You could have taken the shot. We're all fucked thanks to you, Sai said. Sai, calm down, Inoichi said. Why should I calm down? This idiot should have taken the shot. There were many people there. It wasn't wise. We could have all gotten ourselves killed. So what? We could have blamed it on him. Sai, calm down. There is a way, Naruto said. What way? You idiot. I can go there, that place where he came from. I can go there and kill him. As everyone's eyes went, are you out of your mind? Said Inoichi. That is the most dangerous place. It is quite inhumane and nobody gets out of there alive. If one goes there, they arrive out of that walls only when they die. If you're lucky. Taking that as a challenge, then I'll take it. I'll do it. Go then, Sai said. Good riddance. As Hanzo knew that they found a right weapon. Itachi was a mountain to them, and they found the perfect hammer and nail to break through it to make a tunnel for them to go towards KGF, Konoha's goldfields. So, after 1 week, Naruto was brought there by Hanzo. After he arrived within these walls and perimeter, their connection to the outside world is cut off. There are huge trucks that are taken there, filled with people that are kidnapped from the nearby villages outside, and they are all taken to the island by boats, loaded as inhumane animals. There they will be kept as workers to mine. Welcome to Konoha Goldfields, kid. KDF, nice name. As Naruto then arrived there to see that the van was guarded heavily that was being about to be brought towards the ferry that was going to be taken from there towards the other island that connected to Japan, just outside of it. Konoha Gakure, or known as Konoha Goldfields now, KGF. It was like a huge castle from the outside, from the dark times. As Naruto killed each and every one of the guards and got inside by wearing the dirty clothes and getting rid of his usual clothes that he was wearing. He was like any normal worker there. As he was inside that bash knot, the ferry moved as Naruto smirked. He knew he got in. As we go back towards Yamanaka residence, as Ino asked her father, she hasn't seen Naruto for 1 month now. 1 week now. As Ino asked, Dad, do you know where Naruto went? Asai came. Your lover, Naruto, right? That guy went to the hell on earth. The place where no one can come out of. As Naruto, on the other hand, we see him arriving as Sai was talking, with the badge in front of the gates, as the gate opened as they came inside, and behind them the gates closed as it was heavily guarded by the people that looked like they were animals and eated human flesh, and they were glaring at them while chuckling menacingly and psychotically. It was a clan known as the Black Clan, and those were the guards keep of the whole KDF. As when they were brought inside, Naruto and every one of them were stamped by iron on their backs with KGF badge and their badge number. Naruto winced in pain a little bit, but his scream never came out. He was stoic the whole way. As after that, he put on his shirt as they had been branded and were now walking inside. As on the other hand, Sai continued, many people are there. No one has ever dared to venture outside those walls. Those who tried were shot down, hunted down, like they were animals. He has went to Konoha's goldfields, to Konoha Gakure no Sato, the worst hell and place on the whole planet Earth. He laughed as Ino felt dread coming over her. She prayed to Kami that Naruto was safe. She knew for sure that, even with little interaction she had with Naruto, it was love at first sight for both of them. She really loved Naruto. Inuichi saw this as well inside. This was going to be hard. But they can always replace Sai because he was a cocky bastard. As he go towards Naruto, he saw many things in his life, but this was the most inhumane. People were living in tents and there was nothing there. The children, they were dying of hunger. The people there, they hadn't had baths. They didn't even have enough time to cover their wounds. They were forced to work 24/7 in mines that were dangerous without any safety equipment. Almost every day, 10 to 20 people died, and new batches were brought in. As a man came in front of him, as he said, "My name is Killer Bee. You all are brought here to mine. Please forget about the outside world. There's no hope of return." As one of the new batch arrived with Naruto, a man asked an old man that was standing there, "Uncle, how long are we going to be here? I've been asking the same question for the past 20 years, son." As the man's eyes widened, "What? 20 years?" "Yes, 20 years." As Killer B said, "You all are new here. There are some rules. Nobody crosses that white line. If they do, the guards will shoot you without any hesitation. And if they deem you unable to work anymore or unfit, they will kill you. No questions asked. And nobody looks guards in the eyes. They will not take lightly of this." Naruto was hearing this while he was making plan. As he was arriving there, he saw one thing, a huge white castle with a Uchiha crest on the other side, all the way 100 almost 1 to 2 miles away from the place he was. It almost was different from them. It was filled with greenery and nature. It was almost elegant, waiting for a king to live, while they were in rags. There was sand all around them. They didn't even have shoes to wear, ragged clothes, and everything around them was dusty. Naruto from then on had to formulate a plan to get into that castle and kill the said man. We go towards the castle while this was going on to see Itachi in front of a man, one of his men, as he said, "Who hurted these three?" As one of the guards stepped in front of him, "Sir, I did." As Itachi grabbed the sword from the other guard and slit his throat. "How dared you do that without my permission?" As Sasuke then said, "One moment he's good to those who wanted to hurt him, and one moment he kills those who are loyal to him." As Sasuke's teacher said this to him, "Sasuke-sama, please don't mind him. This year, no cows or goats were brought here as sacrifice to Izanami-sama." Then who are we going to sacrifice to her?" "Yes, every year the Uchiha family had a ritual. They will sacrifice goats and cows to Izanami-sama, their goddess, who protected them and their family from the ancient times, who they worshipped from all bad traits, and before they started a good deed, they will be the sacrifice. That is why Itachi is feeding them." As Sasuke's eyes widen, as we go and see Sasuke and Itachi standing in front of a man that was laying there in the bed. He was half paralyzed. It was Fugaku Uchiha. "My son, you have to be cautious. Many peoples have their eyes on the empire that I built. You don't have to worry about that, father. Your mother would be proud of you if she was here." "I know, father. She would have been," said Itachi, and Sasuke looked down as Itachi turned towards him while they were going out. "You should go and run away, little brother. I'm going to start spilling the blood all over here. That the rivers will turn red. This much blood. If you aren't able to see a little bit, then you should get the hell out of here." As Sasuke nodded, "Hi, Nisan," as Itachi left, confident that he will become the successor, and nobody will be there to stop him. Not after he killed his uncle, Madara Uchiha, brother of Fugaku Uchiha, who with the tip of his sword brought the whole empire together. He remembered the day he was named as the Hare. As we see Fugaku, who was laying on the bed when he got detected by the illness and paralyzed half down, and the doctor said that he didn't have much time to live. He knew that it was time to announce his successor, and many revolts were going to start in KGF to take over it from them, as he summoned to name one of his two most loyal persons as a successor. At the same time, Sasuke was in London studying and becoming a great engineer for God knows what. As Fugaku then said, "Madara, you have been with me from the day my empire started, and I hope you will do the same with my son," as his sword. As Madara's men started to get enraged and yell at Itachi, who was smirking at him, "I promise, until the day my nephew die, I will not even think about the throne of KGF." With these words, Madara parted. He was inspired by the shinobis of old times and the history of his clan, so he wore a red armor with black underclothes. And he used a gunbei, a traditional weapon that was long forgotten in the Uchiha's history, that was on his back. Madara tried to kill Itachi by bombing his car, but he missed. But when Itachi attacked, it didn't miss. And that is how Madara died. End of the flashback. Itachi reminded this and was smirking to himself as he left. On the other side, Naruto was working hard and finding a way, passing these guards and the checkpost line, and arriving at the gate. When this was going on, one of the slaves' kids ran past the white line. As the guards were alerted, as one of the guards took a shot, as the mother, who was fearing for her son's life, dashed towards the white line as well, while her husband dropped everything he was doing and dashed towards the wife and her son to save both of them. But it was too late. 3 gunshots were fired. 3 people lay dead there as they were dragged back by the guards. "Bury them somewhere else. This should be enough lesson for all of you," one of the guards said. Naruto stood there, quiet. His blood was boiling too. As we go towards the story, what? Why didn't he save them? Tsunade said. He could have done that. He could have prevented this. God knows why he didn't save them. But history isn't changed in one night and in one course of action. It takes time. And one push. And that push hasn't come for Naruto yet. There were only 300 to 400 or maybe 500 guards there. But those slaves, there were 20,000. And Naruto was one of them. And yet they were all scared. Scared from them. Because they instilled fear in them. And this was the action that were going to cause more fear to grow in them. As we go back to the story to see that it was nighttime as the trio were buried. As Killer Bee was sitting there, as he said to the mothers of the children that were there, "Please, go and summon my brother. He will tell the stories to them, and maybe the children will find peace and sleep after this traumatic event." As A was sitting there, sad. At one time, he was buff and all giddy until he was brought here 30 years ago. He was broken. He didn't have will to fight. He didn't even have will to do anything. Killer B wanted to be a pop singer, didn't get his chance when he was brought here. Both A and B were on vacations when they were brought here to get away from their hustling and bustling life in Japan, in Tokyo. But they were fortunate enough and they were drifted here into the KGF as slaves. For the past 30 years they remained there. As A began, in histories there will be a person that will arrive here to elevate our pain. He will crush their necks with his fist, stomp on their dead bodies and elevate us, and bring us justice that we all desire. Bring us peace that we have not seen for many years. As Naruto felt chills run down his spine when he heard the story, as many of the kids looked towards him, as he was shocked when he was brought out of the stupidor, as he saw A pointing towards him. "You, I feel with each and every gut in my body that you will be the one to elevate our pain. You will be the one to avenge us. You will be the one to bring justice to us. Won't you? Naruto remained quiet and stoic as the day passed, and the next day, while Naruto was going towards mining, he saw that the guards were away for a moment as Naruto dashed, getting out of the line. As one person saw this, as Naruto dashed and dashed until he arrived in front of a map in a little bit of stable that was created. Naruto knew where he had to go, but he made a mistake. A charcoal that was left on his hand was imprinted on the clean map. As Naruto arrived back in, on the other side we go towards Kakashi, the general of the Uchiha clan, as he got the wind of what occurred when the new batch arrived. So you mean to say that a person arrived here, an alone person who killed and butchered our men who were at least up to 50 to 60 without getting caught, and left? No sir, we suspect that he's inside. What makes you think that? We think that there might be someone in the batch. There might be, as Kakashi was suspecting the area as he saw a dark finger mark on the map. Gather the new batch and summon Lord Itachi. As Itachi was brought there, as he was sitting on a chair that was brought by a man, while one man pushed a fan, a royal fan, to blow air towards him, as the whole batch was in front of them. As Itachi got up, dragged the sword of Kakashi from his holster, and threw it towards the people who backed away. These people, they're all scared of me. And do you think they have the guts to kill me? Sir, we might not be for sure. There might be someone in there who wants to kill you. We can always bring in a new batch, but we can never be too cautious. Fine. Whoever is here to kill me, step forward and take the sword and take your shot. Otherwise you'll all get executed. As many rifles were posted and pointed at every one of them, as the gate behind them closed, as the people were fearful. As a person saw this and looked towards Naruto. Naruto recognized him. His name was Shinji. He and his pregnant wife were brought here after the night they were married, kidnapped from their village to be forced into labor. And he could still remember the last night when he was about to go home after the whole fiasco that happened with A and him. Shinji approached him. Please, take us with you. What do you mean? Naruto said. I saw what you did today's morning. You left. You're planning on escaping, right? As Naruto threw him against a wall, grabbing his neck. Say a word to anyone, I'll slit your throat, please. Shinji begged, please take us with you. My wife, she's pregnant. I cannot protect her here. I'm weak. At least take her, please. As Naruto was about to move, as Kakashi began to start a countdown, just after saying that he will ask every one of his guards to shoot if the man didn't step out. He saw that Shinji started to dash outside. Before Naruto could get out, he grabbed the sword as he took a swing, as Kakashi took a shot from his revolver, and the bullet went straight towards Shinji's heart, piercing through it and killing him. Shinji's wife, Miko, was on the floor, crying. She couldn't take it. She was already 8 months pregnant, and this occurred. Naruto was frozen at the same spot. As we go back to words, the news feed back, who was telling the story live, as Shikaku stopped for a moment to drink a cup of water, as Tsunade was shocked, and so was Hiruzen. There was a lot of depressing air around them, as Shikamaru began as we go towards Naruto, but this time, 1 week has been passed, and Killer Bee arrived there. You'll have to get used to it. Everyone dies here that easily. But he didn't have to die like that. Naruto said, just don't glare at the guards. Do your work and you'll be fine. As Naruto bumped into an old man to see that another person who seemed to be his son said, please, I apologize. We're working. Don't tell the guards. As Kirby said, the old man is blind. His days are numbered as well. Once the guards find out that he's not useful to them, they will kill him by bringing him down in the mines. As Naruto's eyes widen, and true to the word, 2 weeks later, one of the guards find out that the old man was blind. So, old man was grabbing a rope as his son was grabbing his back, as the son was now fearful for his father's life because the old man was all he had left in this hell. As the guard stepped down, as he said, by pushing a box in front of him, old man, throw that rope inside this box and you'll live. And if it missed, then you'll die. As the old man walked towards the box, but the rope dropped just near it, missing it by an inch. The kid started to weep there, because his father was going to die now. As Naruto was seeing this, as the old man was collared by a metal chain as he was pulled and dragged towards an elevator that led it down, as many of the people, the guards went there. No, Naruto. Calm down. Don't. As one of the guards said, boy, continue your working. As Naruto was about to pick a hammer, but it was small, he missed it and picked up a huge hammer that was near. As the guard said, boy, continue moving and work. Why are you stopping? As Naruto smashed the hammer on his jaw, breaking his neck as everyone froze there. As he went towards the elevator and went down. As we go towards the down floor in the mine, we see that the people have gathered here as they threw their bowls in which they ate in front of the old man. Oi, old man, if you stepped in one of these bowls, it will decide who has the right to take your life. Come on, everyone, throw your bowls after writing your name down, as they did the same, as many bowls were missed until one came. Damn it, he always gets the kill. As before the man could take an aim at the old man, who was now fearful for his life and was screaming for help, the light turned off. The single light bulb that was there turned off. As one person got there to check why the bulb was off, or the breaker was stripped, to see that the switch was cut off. As the other thing he felt was a hammer to his head that squashed his brain and splattered it on the wall. Naruto's blood was boiling to no end, as there was massacre, until the leader that said this to the old man, that his life was ending today, that killed people like this, was brought out in front of many people, in chain, as Naruto pulled him outside and threw him in front of the people, while the old man walked behind him. As his son dashed towards the old man and hugged him, Father, you're alive. I don't know what happened, son. I'm alive. Yes, Father, you're alive. As then there was a moment of silence, as the people looked at the man with rage, the rage that they were setting aside within their hearts. It came with full force to them as they began the ritual that the man and his goons did, beating down at the rocks beneath them, their weapons, but they did their shovels and hammers that they held. As all of them, even the kids did, as Naruto picked up a hammer and smashed it on his guts, as the man was begging for mercy, as Naruto did that again, and then again, and then again, as the people felt relief. A little relief washed over them, that there might be someone there to save them. There might be someone there to elevate their injustice life. Many of the life lost, they will be avenged. He will be able to save them. As we go towards the newsfeed, he killed them? Wouldn't it alert Itachi and this Kakashi person you say that his general is? It could endanger or blow his cover. He didn't care about that. He was enraged. He. I don't even know. Nobody knows why he did that, aside from his rage, or what was the cause of his rage. But the, the only thing that people cared about was that he alleviated their pain, and that's all that matters to them. He was a hero in their eye, a messiah. As the story continues, Itachi got a wind that the others are starting to revolt against him and had really sent someone in there to kill him. And the dead guards that were found there was anything to go by. It was a signal. As Naruto burned their bodies. As on the other side, outside, Hanzo was there, who got a signal from Sasuke that Kyuubi has sent his signal, an explosive signal that he's alive and he's about to commence his mission. As on the other side, Itachi said, "Priest, begin preparations for the ritual in which we will sacrifice to Goddess Izanami. But, Lord, it has still some time for that. I don't care. Do it now. We will, by the end of the day, the next day, kill each and every one of my enemies. No one in hell will have the guts to even stand up to look at me in the eyes and KGF." As in the Uchiha palace, the preparation for the Izanami's worship was about to begin, and the ritual, the sacrifice. As many peoples were about to be brought there, as Naruto on the other hand prepared to attack. He then realized something. The security was tied on the walls in the white borderline. Many jeeps were parked there. So Naruto, grabbing a piece of wire, tied two rocks at the end of it and tossed it at the near wires that lit the whole thing, causing a spark. And for the 10 seconds, there was deep dark there. Enough time for Naruto to get past by the jeeps, until the jeeps that were there lit up with their headlights. As Kakashi arrived there, "What do you mean there was a power outage here?" "Sir, we do not know, but someone must have caused it." As Kakashi saw the ropes that were hanging from the wire, as he saw the footprints of a man that led towards a water tunnel that led straight towards the Uchiha palace. Damn it, he's going towards the Uchiha palace! As we go towards Itachi and everyone else who was gathered in front of a cave in which Izanami's giant statue was created. As Itachi bowed and prayed his prayers in front of the goddess, and then stepped into the pool in front of her. A pool in which many bones of the gods and cows they killed, sacrificed, laid. As one by one, the prisoners started to be brought in. As the first was brought in, as Itachi picked up a katana of the Uchiha crest in his hand and cut at his neck there, as the people were fearful at what was happening in front of them, while praying for Izanami for his death today. As we see Kakashi reaching there. Why isn't he here? What was his goal? As his radio fed a new life once he arrived in the Uchiha palace. "Sir, the guards have been found dead that were guarding the 3 prisoners, and one of the prisoners is in his cell. That means, oh no, the Izanami temple." He said one of his goons, "Listen to me, he's there in Izanami temple." As the second one's throat was cut off, as Itachi fitted his sword there on the wooden stump, as he waited for the arrival of the next of his victims, of his sacrificed, as he was still praying for success, as the third victim was dipped into the water. But when he was hoisted back up, he was free from his clutches and the sword was missing. As Naruto rose from the water with the sword in his hand, Itachi's eyes widened, as Naruto cleaved his neck off, as all the guards were afraid, as they were shocked what occurred, as Naruto got out of the water and sprayed the blood of Itachi Uchiha on Izanami's statue. I hope this fulfills your thirst for blood, Izanami. As if listening to his words, the statue exploded, as the people cheered while the guards, the goons of Itachi, were terrified. As Kakashi cried, "Oi, what are you waiting for? Get him!" But at that time, it was already too late. People started to throw rocks at them. They were only 500, while Naruto had 20,000 people behind him. As we cut to a flashback to see a 13-year-old Naruto getting dragged by one of his friend's mother in front of Kushina. "Kushina, your son has caused our kids to get beaten with him. He was fighting 20 kids with 4 of our children." "What? Why didn't you go alone? Now go alone and beat them. Remember, son, if you are standing in front of your enemies, knowing that you have people on your back, you will win, but at loss, you will suffer losses. But if you are able to give strength to the people that are behind you, that you are standing in front of them, you can win the whole world and any war, regardless of the loss, and the people will not lose their morale." As we go back after this whole flashback towards the newsroom, in which Tsunade was shocked at what happened. "Oh my god, that is certainly a twist and a nice story." Yes, nice indeed. Because of Naruto's action, Naruto had gained an army of 20,000 peoples to take over the KGF. What? Yes. After seeing Itachi, he knew he was a powerful person who came from a powerful place. After seeing the crates that were supposed to be in America or other countries in Tokyo, he knew something big was going on. And after arriving here, he knew he was right. He was connecting the dots already, and KGF was the final dot that he connected. Do you remember the promise that he made to his mother? He will die as the strongest person, right? Yes, said Tsunade. As Tsunade and Hiruzen's eyes fun. This is the beginning. What? You mean this is in the end? Yes. It was the first draft. This is where I'm going to be leaving this movie off, guys. I hope you like this one, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, as this is Apollo Uchiha and I'm signing out. Peace.